What gives him the power, the right? The answer, of course, is that he derives the authority from his own imagination. And though he has no moral or legal authority or right to do what he's doing, what gives him the power is the simple fact that he has it. I'm doing this because I can, seems to be the legal argument from these despotic governors. In fact, I posed this question on Twitter about, where does he get the power to do this? A number of people answered scoffingly that, well, of course he has the right to do it. He's the governor. What they don't understand, and I can hardly blame them for not understanding, if they woke up from a coma in March and have been observing how government works only since then, is that governors, though they have the power to sign laws, are also supposed to be subject to them. We don't call him Emperor Cuomo or Sultan as much as he might like us to. He's a governor and a citizen, just like you and me. Or at least that's how it's supposed to work. Of course, the primary source of power for petty dictators like Cuomo is the acquiescence and credulity of the populations they govern. Which brings me to my final point. And I want to be very clear about this and phrase it in a way that will be sure to be understood. If you support the government telling people how many of their own family members they are permitted to have in their own homes, you are a fool and a bad American and a disgrace to your ancestors who came here for freedom and would be in despair if they knew that their own progeny would piss all over their sacrifices the way that you are. And I am embarrassed to share a country with a craven imbecile such as yourself. I hope that was clear enough. There are a number of understandable and acceptable answers to a government official who tries to tell you how many people you can have in your house. Most of those answers would come in the form of expletives that I cannot repeat, but all of them would come down to the words no and go to hell. But if you respond by saying, yes, Lord, whatever you say, my king, then you are simply, as I said, very bad at being American. And I wish you weren't American. Because people like you are ripping this country to shreds and ruining everything that once made it great and beautiful. This is all especially the case now because these same states put their lockdown rules on hold as recently as 5 days ago so that Democrats could dance in the street. Yet again, the mayor of D.C. broke her own travel restrictions a couple days ago so that she could go pop champagne with Biden in Delaware. And she defended it as essential travel. This is how it's gone all along. These mayors and governors impose restrictions, exempt themselves, and exempt anyone who gathers for politically favorable reasons in their minds. As they try to force you to cancel your grandmother's Thanksgiving invitation, they have and will continue to allow mass rioting and protests as long as the rioters and protesters are Democrats, which, by the way, rioters always are. How much of a credulous, brain-dead simpleton sheep do you have to be to still go along with this? To still believe the justifications that are given, to still respect the authority of the people passing these rules. So it's time to wake up. It's long past time. But if this is finally your awakening moment, well, better late than never.